start working on some of my characters. Let me see if I can turn on my Bluetooth real quick. I'll turn my Bluetooth and see if I can do it this way. Have a little bit more control with the sound. Um, I've decided I want to just. I know yesterday I had some really heavy conversation talking about different things on the way home, and so I said to myself, let me just go ahead and lighten up a little bit and do a little bit less conversating and just jump right into the task. I have 4 commissions that are due, and 4 commissions that are due by the end of pretty much by September. I guess starting September. Is that I have to turn. One is this one here. This one here is one of my favorites. This is a Diplocaulus, a hammerhead salamander, 6 legs. I called him a 6 leg, just for short, 6 leg. And so he's almost finished. I started working on him yesterday when we were watching the movie. Pretty much before we were watching the movie, I started working on him, and he looks almost like fully ready for the the whole paint and seal to make him beautiful. The other one I have to make is another one of these. This is called my trench beast. This is a trench beast, and it's a trench monster, and it's been pretty cool one. It's a female trench monster, and so she is. I call her Meggie, because of the Meg movie, but I call her instead of Maggie, and so yeah. So I'm gonna make another one of these, and then I'm gonna make another one of these. This one here happens to be one of my favorite. This one's a Jimba, and Jimba, she also is a fish monster, and she's actually a triggerfish and a triggerfish chupacabra. A triggerfish chupacabra and made of masking tape, everything except for the eyes. 100% masking tape. Her name is Jimba, Gymbaa, Jimba, and she's a chupacabra. And then the one that's most famous, people love this one the most, is this one here. This one here is the Japa. This is my Japa fish monster, and everybody loves Japa. He happens to be one of the most copied character. I've copied more than Gremlins, more than Greta, more than all the other ones I've ever made. This one here is Japa, and Japa happens to be one of my most copied ones. So this one, I'm going to make another copy of that. What I'm going to do on this live chat is I'm going to start working on these, and then I'm going to go ahead and proceed to just not complete it, but just to start it. I'm going to spend maybe half an hour just talking with you guys about some things. Raise this up a little bit. Put this over here, and so I can just angle this down so that's where you get a good signal. And so we're going to do this. Oh, I'm going to show you some of these other creatures too. Here's some characters. Here's a character here. This one here is Sasquatch. This one here is Sasquatch, and this one here is Yeti. This is Yeti, and this is Sasquatch. And so I just gave Sasquatch a bit of paint, but just know that Yeti is bigger by far than Squatch. He can never put his hand on his head to show you how big he is compared to him, and to show you the size comparison. I was doing that the other day on my Instagram. Was human size comparisons. We have people that we use as frames. So I use this guy here. He was actually one of the ones to show the size comparison of how big a human is to a Yeti, right? This is kind of a size there. Then you also have my Bigfoot. So here's Bigfoot, right, compared to the size of a Yeti, compared to the size of things. So when you have him like this, you can actually show you how big he is compared to speaking. So I have that one there. These are kind of like the cool characteristics, how big they are compared to each other. So you like this, you say 6 feet tall for the person, you have about maybe let's see, 8 to 12 feet tall, and you got like almost 15 to 20 feet tall for the Yeti. So yeah, just pretty much let you guys see that. I was giving them a paint job, and also I was going to show you some of the cool ones. This one here is Japa. Japa is one of the ones I made so many copies of. People have requested, they saw on my Etsy, and they were like, ah! So this one. And this one here is the trench beast. It's the trench beast that I'm working on. Make another copy of this one here. So she is, I call her Meggie. Meggie. I am Meggie. So this is Meggie. And this one here, another one. I made many copies of this one. This is actually like, I made 6 copies of these in the past. This one's a hammerhead salamander, and he's a 6-legged Tarskew type, 6-legged baseless type hammerhead salamander. And it's just like, and that's why I love about these things, because they're flexible. They're so very flexible. So I have my people, my fish, and I have and then this lady here. This one is I haven't given her a name. I think it's a Cindy with an eye or something. But pretty much she's like a one-eyed cyclops Tharks. She's got like the 6 forearms. These are Tharks, right? And so she's got the hair braid and stuff like that too. And pretty much got that booty. So no, so what happens that's a right there. So pretty much this one there. You have another humanoid. So this is a humanoid to show the comparison of how big she is compared to, the human aspect of it. So here's a lady compared to, the size of a Thark. So she's like the size of her leg compared to the whole side of her whole body. So you have that. So anyway, so there's that, and a guy. And here's a guy and a girl next to each other. Boom. So that's where they showed that pretty much I can make sculptures like people. We have a class coming up next week. Please join us in our class. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work on. We have a human class with people. We have a all family friendly class for all ages. And we have on Wednesday we have a class for all people. So that's something there. So you have to pretty much resculpt people. We sculpt people in masking tape. So they have, humans and stuff like that. So you got we sculpt men and women in masking tape. So there you go. Boom. Okay, so there's that. And today, what I'm going to be sculpting for you today for your amusement. This is Diplocolus. This is Deli, and he's a Diplocolatan, which is like he's doing that get that bread, right? So remember I did that the whole get that bread. That's when I had him. What I'm gonna do tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of work and show you, work on this one. This is the one I'm gonna start on first. Gonna make a trench piece. Gonna work on that and get that all set up. And you get to watch me do it for a little bit. So I'm gonna put that here. I had previously worked on a vulture. And we had just I talked some heavy things yesterday, so I'm not gonna talk so heavy things. We talked some light things today. Here's the vulture, right? I was working on a vulture, and she's pretty cool. Yeah, still the paint's almost finished dry. So yeah, see how the wings, and I have that thing what the vultures do when they go like. I don't know if that's the sound vultures make, but to me, that's the sound a vulture makes. So that one there, and see a little bit of paint there in the hands. So I'm gonna take my trusty dusty masking tape and show you the Yeti again. Yeti, what's up? This is a Yeti, and pretty much they're together. By the way, don't you know that? So this is a Tharks. Tharks is together with the Yeti. Because why? Because like pretty much it's a cold environment, cold climate. Top of the mountains, top of the Himalayas, and it's cold climate on Mars. If you believe Mars exists. So yes, that's something there. For the most part, though, let's go do this real quick. Let me start working on the creatures. So we're gonna do that real quick. Let me see if I can just bring it back down a little bit. This one here is a little mouse. There's a little mouse right here, and more like a rat. And so he's like, what happens like sometimes when I made him, I put him in my daughter's head, and I was doing the whole ratatouille thing. So I'm gonna put him in my head to help me sculpt. So there you have it. So I have a mouse in my head to help me sculpt and do the sculpture stuff. I'm gonna do that real quick. Let me turn the camera just a little bit that way, and then let's go ahead and sculpt. Shall we? Let's do this. All right. So for the most part, though, I'm gonna get my hands here. I have a mouse in my head, and so I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on this thing here. This here is. Feel free to talk to me in the chat. By the way, I enjoy chat conversations. I'm gonna turn the fan on so I don't boil in this kitchen, and working on this trench beast. Yeah, so let's talk some things, shall we? One thing I found about life is that that's good, is that you can start fresh every day. Every day you can start fresh. You don't have to like go back to old times. You don't have to like think that it can never be fixed, whatever it is the problem is. You can start fresh today and start building. And you know what? You don't owe anybody anything. Just definitely for yourself, you definitely can start building afresh, start building anew. And so, first to the mouth. So we have that one. Let me show you guys that. So it's in the background, so you can see it. Yeah, and I'm very rough with my stuff, by the way. I want you to know these are built rough. I that's why I was like I don't work with glass because I would be cracking glass. I also work with balloons. I can do balloon animals, but that's I don't like the whole framework of it all. Balloon animals, Yeah. So for the most part, though, this has been good. What I've done is like you can actually make a bunch of creatures and stuff too. So you have very similar. It's like, you're going to be me. Yes, I'm going to be you. This is going to be you. So, I hope that the fan doesn't get into it, doesn't make it sound too weird. You can see it's better this way. And what we're going to do is go ahead and do this here. This here is a trench beast. And how I liked it, when I saw the movie Pacific Rim, that movie was such a cool movie for me because what it did for me was that it was robots versus giant monsters, which, you've seen in every single anime out there. Has a giant monster, giant robot type thing, and definitely like in Gundam, so you have like the Gundam style robots, fighting like fighting like Voltron type monsters, like what do you call those beasts? I forget what they call those. Not razor beasts. Oh, I forgot the name of it from Voltron. And it was like a Shadow Weaver. No, Shadow Weaver was He-Man. Shadow Weaver was in He-Man, and pretty much, yeah. It's good. Yeah. So yeah, the mouse in my head is telling me to keep working. It's mouse keeps saying work. That's right, Remy. That's right. So, all right. So let me just go ahead and start finishing this up. This is like one of the cool things about when you make like creatures that you as your own. You can do all kind of cool styles with it, and I just absolutely love it. I think it's a cool thing. And was it Razor Beast? I can't remember the name of it. What's like? Somebody tell me in the chat. What was the name of the creatures they'd always make from to fight Voltron? And they always chopped it in half at the end of every show. It was like, I remember Voltron. I remember watching the original series back when I was a little kid, going to school. That's kind of where I started out my collections and stuff, because I remember my sister telling me, it's not gospel, okay, but what she told me was that don't open it, because you'll open it, you want to one day, if not. And sometimes people just ruin your fun. Because you know what? You don't get this time back. Time is very precious, So one of the things is like you have this thing where you are, constantly trying to figure out what's the best thing to do. And so when you're doing this thing, you are finding that sometimes the best thing for you to do is just to, one, keep going. And two is, collect what the things you like. Get what you like, collect what it, and then, I have a whole collection of comic books that I'm going to look into. I have my kids, right, and they some of them, I haven't let them see the comic books because it was like a lot of it's Spider-Man and old school Spider-Man, and I've had it for so many years. And then but then the other day we were just doing the consolidation, and because one of the boxes had gotten water damage, one of my white boxes, when you have comic books, you have to have comic book collection type thing, right? And so the comic book collection is one of those things where when you are working on stuff, you keep it so that it keeps the comic books from being damaged and protects the edges and things, and also keeps it out of the light so it doesn't get discolored. So it's still as fresh. The comic books are still as fresh as they were when I bought them, and I keep them in really, really good condition because it's like, I'm kind of a collector kind of a person. And that's the cool thing when you can make your own art. You can actually make your own collection. You don't have to buy it anymore. You can just go ahead and just make your own. It's just a matter of time. Like for example, I thought about the other day making a Justice League. I thought that would be so cool to make the whole Justice League, but I'm like, well, you know what? If I made them, I would just have them around. And what would I do with them? And as much as I like to, just have them, I could make Cyborg and the Flash, and Martian Manhunter, and and Teen Titans and all that. I can make all these different creatures. I was like, well, it's better when somebody asks for it, So, because the other day I made like a bunch of like gremlins, I have gremlins, and the one that I made the most recent was like the Mohawk one, right? From the Gremlins 2. I made the Mohawk Mogwai. And I thought to make like the big one. I wanted to make the big one. And so making the big one would have been really cool, right? Like a big Mogwai. Oh, big one with the spider legs, right? And I thought that'd be kind of a cool thing. And so what ended up happening was, if you just make something, you have it around the house, which I mean, I don't mind so much. It just takes up space. But it's really good when somebody asks for it, because now they can actually share in your art. And I like that a lot. That's why it's like I teach the classes, so people learn how to do this too. And then I teach pretty much how to, make all this cool art stuff. So not only they can do it, but it's a fun thing to do. I actually, I would say this, I enjoy making this artwork. Let me come a little closer. I enjoy making this artwork because it's like, it's turning something that most people don't consider it into something that's really cool. So that when you're done with making like, a sculpture or something, you have a fully designed sculpture that's lightweight, durable, pretty much indestructible. And that beats every other medium. And so, I mean, you can put other stuff onto it. There's the thing I brought with me, my Paltia, and so I have Paltia with me. I also have cardboard and stuff. And there's the flexibility. The cardboard is also a weight to cardboard, but also the Paltia thing I wanted to do is, which I'll get around to, because Paltia is pretty cool. Look, the Remy's falling off my head. The Paltia thing is where you have, you can make stuff and it'll last. It's waterproof and rainproof and stuff like that, so it's actually a pretty cool thing. So when you have that, you're kind of like, you're what's that word? You're able to make stuff, and yeah, you make stuff that lasts in the weather. And I haven't gotten into it yet because I don't work with concrete so well. I haven't done any concrete type thing, and so because it's like, if I did a concrete thing, it would be like I'm kind of afraid to mess up, So the first time ever working with stone stuff, I mean, that's pretty cool to carve stone. That, my friend, was actually fun to do. So I have yet to do more of it, but just saying this, just making the trench beasts, it's one of those things where, let's see what we got so far. We have this one and we have this one. So similar already, right? Pretty similar. Not too long, not too far away. But it's good to do this. So this is like when you take an opportunity to make something and to do something while you're doing something else. And so this is where you're utilizing your time, doing two things at the same time. And and I'm hoping that I'm able to entertain you guys while I'm doing this, because it's a lot of fun to do this. So anyway, all right, what I have here. This is so last couple of days was when we went to camp. I was working on the Yeti, right? I was working on making squash over here, and so I'm gonna paint him up because he looks kind of like that. Those one of the Aardmans. He has that art to him, and it's just kind of an Aardman type look. But before he was just all like white, and then giving him the cool paint job turned him into this cool color here. And I didn't paint his legs. His legs would be white legged, And then I made the monster booty in the back. Monster booty in the back for just for the fun of it. But yeah, he's fun. He's just two colors really, and then he has the green eyes, nice green Yeti eyes. Like, hello everyone. Oh, the mouse is like, hey. All right, let me make sure it stands up better. Remy, don't fall down, Remy. Don't steal, Remy. Okay, right here. All right, so there's that. So here's that. So there's Swatch right there, and so I got paint on my hand. That's the thing, because he's still drying. Anyway, so that's Swatch right there. I don't want to make this too bad, because I have to give this one a cool paint job. This paint job on this one is actually pretty intense. Oh, I was working on Fred from Freaky Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yeah, so anyway, my kids got their Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I made all the examples for them. I made Muriel and Eustace, and also Courage. We have two Courages now, and that was fun. I went to an art gallery thing, and then I had to make another Eustace, another Courage, so that way I can actually have it, in there. Anyway, so this thing. We went to saw a movie yesterday. We saw a movie called The Bad Guys 2. That movie was fun. That was a fun movie. And I can't spoil it for you at all, but all I had to say is that it was a fun movie to watch, because when you watch it, you see all the cool stuff. It was like they did a really good job of making a second movie, and it held your attention, And, I guess it just shows what happens when I can't tell you anything about that movie. Sorry. So. So you can just angle it this way. Alright. You can change the angle. That's why it's like kind of mixing up a little bit. Yeah. So when I teach class how to do this is actually pretty cool. This I just kind of explain how the whole process works and how we make creatures, and also as a mouse made Remy, and so hi Samurai 777. Yes, I'm glad for you joining me last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk. I was deep in a thought. I was like, I gotta finish this thought, because if I don't finish what I'm saying, I'm gonna get caught up just saying hi to everybody. So thank you so much for coming back today. Samurai 77-7 or space 7. Appreciate that. It's been just making this here. I was showing before. This is like one of the creatures here. This is hi. This is a trench beast. Her name is Meggie, and I'm making another one. So I'm making another Meggie right here. And then I was just showing you some of the stuff. This was my Yeti. When I was away on vacation, I was working on him, and I gave him the paint job. So now he's almost complete. And he's got the cool Yeti teeth and stuff like that. Not Yeti. Bigfoot. This is the Yeti. This is Yeti, and Yeti is far bigger. I gave Yeti some eyes, so his eyes are nice and blue eyes, and that's pretty much it. But Yeti is way taller. He's much taller than Bigfoot. So he's like, "What's up, son?" Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And this one here is a Tharks. This is a one-eyed Cyclops Tharks. If you watch the John Carter series, there's a John Carter. Disney made a movie called John Carter, and it's pretty much called From the Princess of Mars. And this here, she's got a hoodie on her head, and she's got like her ears like this. So she's a one-eyed Tark, and so she's completely 100% mask taped except for her eyeball. Her eyeball is a resin, and so you have that there. So she's a pretty cool. She's the wife of the Yeti. So they're together. And then I have my Diplocolitans, which is like this is Deli, and he's got in his backpack. Get that bread. So when I get that bread, he's carrying a pizza, and it says, so pretty much he's one of those. He's got a little juicy hair there, and cups of juice, and he's got his pizza bag. First, that's a stack order. So it's like pretty much Road Warrior stack bag, and then this is like he's cool. He's like a little hammerhead salamander. So he's a hammerhead salamander. And this also is a hammerhead salamander. This one's called Six Legs. And Six Legs is made pretty much the same kind of idea, but he's got the horns. And what happens, he's got 6 legs to him, all masking tape. This is for customer. These pieces here are one of the most popular pieces. People ask me to make this for them a lot. So I'm always making these hammerhead salamanders because people like these a lot. These are cool. Yep, I was working on a vulture. And the vulture is here. Move him, he's going to fall in the bucket. Leave it right there. Yeti, stay right there. Okay, cool. We're gonna have this here. These are Deli Yetis. This is I haven't given her a name yet. I think her name is either it's Pearl or probably Cindy, because it's Cindy with one eye, kind of thing. Oh, Cindy. And this one here is Meggie. This is Meggie, because it's like the Meg, but she's Meggie, and she's a trench piece. Notice the cool coloration on the paint job. Yes, that was fun to do. Let me tell you. And so yes, she's an airbrush. She's been airbrushed, masking tape, 100% masking tape. There's nothing but masking tape. She's 100% masking tape, except for the spray paint. That's it, and the seal. Yep. So some people have like Carbon eyes that I give them, but I give them those eyes because it kind of pops differently. But a trench piece all has to have dark eyes. I was gonna make like a anglerfish type thing. Oh, and I'll show you this one here. These are the ones that people ask me to make copies from too. This one here is called Jimba. This is Jimba, and she's a fish. What do I make them out of? I make them out of masking tape. They're all out of this. This is my masking tape. And right now I'm actually making another Meggie. So this is Jimba here. Jimba. And so she's a triggerfish. If you look at a triggerfish pattern, here's a triggerfish pattern. And she's almost like a lionfish, triggerfish type thing. So when you put the hands out, she looks like a fish. But she's got hands, like fingers. She's got tail. And got legs. So when you look at it, it's really hard to see, but it's like there she is. She's like a fish monster, and her mouth would be like, "Hello, I'm a fish monster," kind of thing. But fish monster, chupacabra, right? Because my chupacabras are fish monsters. And then this is the first one to start them all off. This one is called Japa, and Japa is like a goldfish with the cool goldfish colors. Yes, he's a beautiful, beautiful one. And it says her back looks like a porcupine. This one here, yeah, the triggerfish are pretty smooth, but she's got like a lot of spikes. Maybe it could be a porcupine. That's pretty cool. That looks like a porcupine. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This is Jimba. I have Jaro, and I have Sambo over there. And Sambo is like totally a cool triggerfish, lionfish. But this one here is like my goldfish, like a goldfish, deep sea goldfish. So all of them are trench beasts or sea monsters, I think. So I keep working on this right here. Hey, listen, I have classes. If you want to go to my classes, I have a live class where I actually teach people live how I do this. And this is one of those things. So right now, as I'm working on Meggie, I actually have an in-person class that you can actually show you how to do this. Yeah, it's in my I'll tell you on my Instagram, One Life Must Art. One Life Must Art. You can find a lot of my art stuff. And then from there, you can also connect to my classes, which is coming up next Tuesday. I have an all family-friendly class for all ages. Pretty much. I guess if you can handle tape. I mean, if you're like a baby and just fresh out the belly, you can't really handle the tape, so that's not really a good class for you. But a class is good for those who can handle tape. If you're like 6 years old and up, really, or maybe like 8 years old, because sometimes 6 years old get a little frustrated. But I find that most kids like this stuff and they really enjoy it. And so what happens is like here I'm getting it all together, and it's kind of a situation where it's like I'm gonna form some of the more complex parts. Because you look at this, right? It seems like it's pretty much simple, but when you have it, you have it where it gets more and more complex as I continue to add to it. For example, something complex like the Yeti. He looks pretty simple, right? But he's actually very complex. You look at him, he's got that mouth thing, he's got a little chin beard. He's like, yes, I am a Yeti. Yes, I am a Yeti. Or a abominable snowman, they call him too. And all the little things here. So you have to kind of form him up, and you got to make him, and you got to make his feet. And see all this stuff here? His little feet, see his toes? His toes are really nice. And see his toes are painted. They're painted with shiny blue. And you know what? I have no more shiny blue. There's no more shiny blue left. As a matter of fact, the shiny blue is the last of it, because this FX paint that I got from my paint stuff. It's like this, right? This is FX paint, like these, right? FX paint. They don't sell these anywhere. So they're not being sold anywhere except for like I had to probably find it online. See, I had to get a Hobby Lobby, right? And these are like the ones. There's a few of these, and the one I have is blue. So you see this blue. This is like a one of a kind Yeti. I can't make a second one because I don't have enough blue, right? So that's one. See, I have like some other colors too. So here's like a red one, red effects paint, right? I like that. Again, Hobby Lobby. So when I saw them a couple of years ago, I bought as many as I could because one, they were on clearance, but these type of things are like really cool because like they're flexible. They're flexible like they are. So see, like it bends, it doesn't crack, and it's like it's kind of like a latexy type thing, you know, and it dries very quickly. So I can like start working on this before I'm done. This paint is pretty much done really well. So that's fun. And for example, so now I had to kind of switch to like nobler blue. I've used a lighter blue or blue tape, right? Like for example, for here's I call her Cindy. Cindy, she's got like a hoodie, see her hoodie, and she's got her hair, right? And she's got her armament. Her armaments, because she's like a warrior, because most people are warriors. And everything, they always make people warriors for some reason. So she's like a warrior Tharks, and so she's got like her 5 toes, and she got her 5 hands on one hand, and she got her five fingers on one hand, and another 5 fingers. So she's got already, there's 10 on one side, another 10. She got 20 fingers and toes. So altogether it's 30. She got like 30 fingers and toes, right? So that's that, and it's all flexible, you know, all flexible and all bends because, you know, again, masking tape is it's totally cool for that. And she's like, yes, I am Cindy. I guess, yes, I am Cindy. Cindy with one eye, Cindy. Look into my eye. Reminds me of what do you call it? Well, Mike Wazowski, you know, like a Mike Wazowski kind of thing. But it's like, you know, so that's kind of a with one. But so instead of it being like, you know, a small little round body thing with legs, she's actually a tall thing with body and like, you know, ladies alien parts. So yeah, that's that. So she's there. And then this one here, I went to a church thing. We went to a vacation Bible school, and up above we had like all these condors, you know. So I was like, oh my, what are condors? But vultures, and I was like, dude, I gotta make me a vulture. I gotta make me a vulture. So I did. I started working on this vulture, and then by the like in 15 minutes I was able to get it done. But it took me a while to paint it. But here's the vulture, right? So we got the whole vulture face. It's like the vulture wings, you know. So there's that pretty much, you know. So that's kind of a really cool vulture thing. That's great. Next one is I have this gremlin that I haven't been working on for a while, but I have to kind of just get back to it. But he's ready to, you know, kind of finish him up. And so the thing is, like, sometimes you get work on these things and you kind of have to get to just kind of, you know, sidetracked and you have to stop for a little bit. But yeah, these guys are fun to work with. I love making gremlins. Gremlins are one of my favorites to make. This is from one of the sculpture classes. This is one of the people we had from the sculpture class. Her name is Pearl. I had to finish her sculpture. I wanted to get it done before I see her again with the different colors, because it's like it was such a cool setup that she had. You know, she did a cool pose, and she had one of the little diplocalis in her hand. You know, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool there to do that. So I was like, this is like a person. We sculpted an actual person, and I'll show you another one. Let's sculpt another person. This one's the very first one we did was like, this was Lori, my friend Lori, and so we sculpted her, and so here she is. She was sculpted in masking tape. So we did a version of her. So what happened? She sat there and we posed her. She posed, and it was, so that's pretty much. Thanks for saying it's cool. Here's some more. This one is a Bioraptor from the movie Pitch Black. Right? Pitch Black had these creatures, you know, with Vin Diesel, and the creatures were like, they had these wings and they were sharp and they had twin tails and stuff like that. And it was like a pretty cool like creatures that were under the ground. They were allergic to sunlight. So this one kind of actually was inspired the hammerhead salamanders. These ones here, the whole Bioraptors, because they have the teeth and stuff like that. So yeah, again, so whenever you make anything in masking tape, you have to kind of think about how you want to do it, and you got to think about how you want to make it. And it's kind of like a wyvern type dragon. It's got fingers on the claws. It's very much, yeah, very intense creature. This is like a porcupine with wings. This is like one of those, you're not sure what you're looking at, but it has sensor, like sonar. The other one I want to make is one from the cave. We went to a cave the other day, and the cave beasts were like the I forget what they called them, but they were like the bat creatures in the cave movie. That was fun. That was a fun movie. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to go put your stuff. It's very cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is some cool artwork. I found it over there. And this guy here, let me bring him over here real quick. This guy, he is, I have a lot more, but these guys here, this one here is call him Fat Billy. He's like a blackhead Fat Billy one. He's got a tongue. She's got the, and he's like pretty much, he's got a, like reminds me of the one of those creatures from, I forget his name, but what do you call it? The one from Rayman. I forget what his name is now, but he was like, looks like the froggy guy from Rain Man, so a lot of people like him too. So yeah, see, he's cool. I made him a different pattern. At first I was gonna make him add like a stripe down his head, but I was like, you know what, he's cool like this. So he has a seal on him, so he's pretty cool creature. So I'll put him here in the midst. Yep, over here in the midst too. And so with that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go keep working on finishing. So this is a person here, an actual person, sculpted live, and they're gonna finish up her sculpture, which is gonna be cool. So next week class, my class I'm gonna have is going to be on Tuesday. And also another class I have on Wednesday. The same model is gonna come back on Wednesday again. We're gonna have another chat where we're gonna sculpt her again. It's gonna be fun. And so pretty much just like in a matter of that, yeah, I am putting together the classes and having that for like digital online. So I have online classes already, but I just find something about masking tape, you have to be in person. It really works well when you're in person, because when you do in-person stuff, it happens to be way better because you get a chance to talk to your class and get a chance to interact, get to laugh a little bit, to talk, you know, share some snacks. And so the best part about being in a class is that you get a chance to, like, you know, have snacks together, at animal crackers and some juices and things, and that's always fun. And then you get a chance to just talk and talk and talk, and then, you know, I like that a lot. I can't believe, oh, it's 31 minutes already, my goodness. All right, so let's see. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna see if I could like just kind of give some hands to this one here. This one is remember making the trench piece. So there's got like what, 5? She's got like 5 fingers. Yes, so she's got 5 fingers and 5 toes. You know, most Diplocalus that I have, most creatures that I have 5 toes. The Diplocalus have 4. Right? Look at the Diplocalus. This is a Deli. Deli has 4. Gremlins have 4. Right? And if you ever want to get any of my stuff, by the way, if you ever want to like get one of my things, when it happens for sale, I have if you go on my Etsy, I have an Etsy account. You can order something on Etsy, or you can send me an email. My email is onelifemustart@proton.me. Onelifemustart@proton.me. I'll write it down for you guys so you can see. It goes let's see, where's that? One Life. Ratatouille, where's the Ratatouille? Remy, where's my pen? I don't know, my pen. Let's look here. Alright, I have a picture on my head, and I can't seem to find my pen. Okay, so I have to write it with these markers here. I have these markers, and these markers happen to be, what do you call it? These are called blending markers. That's what they call blending markers. See that? It was reversed, so it's probably reversed for you. See that? Blending markers, and I'm going to just write, I'm going to put it up here so you can see it. The One Life Must Art, my email, so that way you can see, and from there be able to, you know, make an assessment. So these are like permanent markers, and see, look at this, look like this, how nice it is. Oh yeah, blending markers, baby. So let's do this. It goes One Life Must. Now don't worry about the capitals and lowercase. One Life Must Art, and it goes at proton.me. Proton.me. Right? If you're interested in a sculpture, just go ahead to One Life Must Art at proton.me. I'll put that sucker right there. You guys can see this? Yep, right there. Right, so One Life Must Art, proton.me. I know it's reversed, but I'll probably just flip it for a second, then you see what's on the other side. But there it goes, One Life Must Art, proton.me. I'll make it closer, you can see it closer. Art at proton.me. Okay, so what happens is this, right? I'm gonna keep working on this. Let me put this blending marker. So this is a beautiful blending markers. These are some markers. Everything I get here is from Five Below. Five Below is such an affordable place. You get some really nice stuff at Five Below, and I am so glad to have met Five Below. My best friend, let me tell you. Because I go usually to Michael's and to Hobby Lobby, but you get some really nice stuff. Like you want to get books and things, get it at Five Below. Really good. All right, there's that one. Next one, let's go ahead and just finish up making this more into the trench beast that we all know and love. Right, so here's how I'm going to make this into Maggie. But again, it's One Life Must Art. If you want to find me, send me an email. Yeah, it's a like personal email, so it's not like a group, and it's also encrypted. So those emails are really good. It's like kind of like your WhatsApp kind of thing. So those emails are great. The Proton Mail. I think it's out of Sweden or something like that. But anyway, so there's this one, right? And then so we're making this one to that one. So yes. Oh, you want to see what this is? I did a live the other day and I made an inchworm. Somebody asked me to make an inchworm, so I made an inchworm. And so here's an inchworm without paint. So hello, I'm inchworm. So yes, inchworm on Yeti's head. The inchworm on the Yeti's head. See? Right there. Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes inside the kitchen. There you go. So, okay. Let me see if I can just kind of get some more pieces done here on this real quick before I call it a day. I don't want to spend too much time today because I know I have a lot of things to be done. So I'm going to put the Yeti over here by Yeti. Right there. You can actually see her as I'm sculpting. Right? The Meggie. I'm going to have to put your stuff. It's how to get your stuff. That's very. Thank you. I appreciate that, samurai. You know I can make a samurai, by the way. I've done that before. No, actually I have not made a samurai yet. That'd be actually a worthy challenge. My nephew wanted a samurai Batman, ninja Batman. And that was kind of the thing I was going to make. I haven't done that yet. I had to watch the movie first and see if I liked it. And oh my goodness, the movie. Oh my word, man. Ninja Batman. So yeah, I saw that movie. I was like, what? What's up with this movie? It's like they have these giant, giant mechs. Now, I know I started off talking about Pacific Rim and all that, but you got these giant mechs, right? They're fighting, like, these, this little mech cities. They're fighting other cities. I'm like, what in the world? And that's kind of the whole thing with the Ninja Batman. That was like, what in the world is this about? Because, when you think about it, the whole thing, how it works, it's like, that would take so much energy and so much stress just for that thing to walk. And every time I take a step, it would be like totally impractical. But it's good when it's giant robots, let me tell you. Because giant robots are just like, it's just fun. They have to figure out some kind of a way to make them walk. But for the most part, though, I made a couple robots too. I made a Gundam. I made a Gundam Barbatos. That was one of those ones that I made, and not understanding what I had the ability to do at that point. It was kind of like, man, if I had decided to make it now instead of making it how I did then, I would have made it so much different, so much better. Because it's like what happened was like I would charge a lot more for it too because I didn't really know. Sometimes like you don't know what you have, you really don't know what you got until you do it. It's like those people who make a movie and they're like the movie was so good, people want a sequel, and then when you make a sequel, you're like, oh wait, how did I do it the first time? And you wasn't really sure because you were just doing like a different kind of mindset. You weren't doing it as a copy. You weren't doing it as a not as a copy of you just did it for the fun of it or for the nuance of it or the storytelling aspect of it. So when you do it a second time, it won't tell the same story with the same thing. It's kind of like it hasn't been fleshed out yet. The story needs to be fleshed out. It has to kind of work a lot before you get to that point where you can actually say, well, this is a story that I'm ready to share to the world, because the first story had to be shared, had to be shown and brought to the world. The first story had to be shared with the world. So when you do this new story, it's kind of like you kind of sharing it in regards to the first story, and it's not the same, So that's something there. So yesterday I was talking some heavy things, and the heavy stuff I was talking about was regarding like just my life, and trying to make sense of it. But today is like just wanting to just make some cool structures and some cool creatures and things like that, while I'm watching to see how I can do it. So here's like it's getting there, right? And so the thing is like, what would you look like if you look under the sea? What kind of thing would you look like if you look under the sea? And that's something that I have an idea. An idea just popped into my head, and so I think I might work on an idea that's kind of like something, because I remember when I was talking to my friend, the friend who posed for us last month. She has a very wonderful personality in terms of like she has confidence in the art that she does, And I was like, man, that's some serious confidence, And it kind of encouraged me to have more confidence. And I pretty much am confident in my art, but it was like just the fact that she has like a whole entourage, a whole dress, a whole like design. I was so cool, I don't walk around. I walk around my art like as separate from me, but not like part of me. I mean, like I do have a mouse in my head right now, and that's something there. That's a mouse. That's Ratatouille. But that's not me in public. I mean, I tend to bring a gremlin around and pop it out of a bag every so often, or we go to like a movie theater and we have that happen. It's pretty cool. But like I mean, to walk around as art, that my friend, how do you monetize that, right? How do you monetize? You just have to. I guess you just can't really monetize it. More like it's part of your nature. It's like kind of like you can make like little Pee Wee Herman dolls or something like that. From Pee Wee's Playhouse or something. From when Paul Rubens was alive, you could do that because he's iconic. This was his design, what he looked like. But then when you have like you have your own style. I guess you can make people into little dolls like that too. Like one of the things I was doing too with the body paint community was that once a person got body paint, I would ask them if they want to be sculpted because I could sculpt the person into a design like that. So yeah, so that's kind of the thing there. I guess anything can be monetized, anything can be commoditized, but it's like it's kind of a one off because I pretty much give them the piece and they have that piece forever and it's their piece. So it's like it's kind of a cool reminder of the times they did this such a cool art, that were painted by different people. So that's something there. So yeah, so you got this here. This is so comparatively speaking, this is what we got so far. It's just like whoa. That's what happens. So you have these here, comparatively speaking. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of flush this one out. So today is Wednesday. Wow, today is Wednesday. Sorry about that. If I burp, I didn't mean to burp. It just came out, and so that's what happens, sometimes. Anyway, so 41. Wow, I've been at this for 41 minutes. My goodness. I'm so like, wow. This is just the fact that you can actually just do this. So definitely for all newcomers, just want to where are you from? Let me know in the chat where you're from, and just kind of a little location, so we can have a little conversation about that. I'm here in New York City. I make stuff out of masking tape. Masking tape art is what I do. I've been doing this for a number of years. This has been fun for me. I have done a lot of cool, a lot of fun artwork, and my favorite is when I surprise people with stuff. There was a person. When I see people do like artwork with like watercolors, I need to learn how to do that. So one of the things I'm going to try to do is that in and of itself. Another thing I want to do is this thing called felting. There's a felt type thing. I put a felt container thing. I want to give that a shot, but I wanted to kind of work on a creature first before I get to all of that type of stuff, So yeah, because I wanted to make sure that I'm not just not just talking, but working and talking to you as I'm working. Let you guys know that this is kind of like on the cerebral level. This is a part of my subconscious at this point. So whenever I make a creature or a character, it's one of those things that I just absolutely just love doing because again, it's fun for me and it's inexpensive, but it's also it's a skill. It's like I'm making a picture. Like I'm actually doing a three-dimensional picture in space. And see, I'm not like when I teach, I teach up against a platform, but when I show people, when I sculpt for people, I sculpt in the air. So it's like I'm actually 3D printing the air. And this is not AI, by the way. Not AI. This is me. Yeah, I have a mouse in my head. This is Reddit. This is Remy. Remy's like, hello, I'm Remy. And so he's on top of my head as I do this. And so, yep. Do you want some water?
Yeah, I need this one.
I'm on the thing. Yeah, live. Yes. You want some water or something?
I'll get afterwards.
Oh. All right. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, just another 13 minutes or so. So yeah, so that's kind of the thing here. I'm in the process of just making more creatures. Okay, so what happened was like my son came over, he wanted some water. I happen to be in the kitchen right now. And this is like 3 fingers, 4 fingers. All right, gonna go ahead and finish it up. You got these ones here, and this is like a trench piece. Her name is Maggie. Maggie, she says. And so, being Maggie is there, and also there's a Sasquatch right here, and there's a big Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, Abominable Snowman, and then his girlfriend, the Darks. So yeah, definitely let me know where you're from. I'd love to hear where you're from in the chat. We can just mention that, and the chat's open, so feel free to ask me any question you'd like. Feel free to ask me any question you like. It's unless you're driving or something, then don't keep your hand on the wheels, as you're driving. But yeah, if you'd like to ask me a question, I can do that. Most complex piece you want to know? The most complex piece I ever made was a Negriant, and that was on one of the monsters from the Elder Dragons. It has 4 legs, 2 wings, and 300 spikes. And that's one of the most complex pieces I ever had to make. That was a very complex piece. Yep, definitely. Please, don't forget, please like and subscribe. If you see my stuff, please like, because that helps the algorithm know to put out to more people. I hope to get to 10,000 people. Right now, I'm at 3,500, and I'm really glad for 3,500. I would love to get to 10,000 before the end of the year, because that'll help me to do more content and more stuff, and to be doing more art that I love, because I'm doing this art and I love doing this. I teach my wife and kids how to do this too, so they can make stuff as well. So yeah, so this is one of those things. So I'm just kind of like making and forming and making this creature. This is the, yeah. So she's getting there, right? She's getting there. So soon I'm gonna give her more thickness, and I gotta work on the mouth and the face part. You see, it's just kind of like this piece by piece, right? So let me see. And Revy's like, hey. So you have that, yeah. Bring it down a little bit. All right, like there. That way I don't have to reach up so high. So here's this. I got a mouse on my. Oh, this is right here. It says my email address. If you want to email me, onelifemusart@proton.me. That's onelifemusart@proton.me. So there's that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get the fifth finger there. Let's get the fifth finger on both hands. That way I can actually, seal it up. So that way I can make it into go into the next part. Yes, see, it doesn't take that long, but it does take a concerted effort. But the thing is, like, once you get it, once you understand how to do it, you can actually make anything. And I know I said that a lot because it's true. And so we can make anything. I try to make it just good things, family-friendly things. I don't make things like politicians, because politicians are really like some kind of weird things. I'm not really sure what they are. And even though I make aliens and creatures and diplocaulitans, reptilians and stuff, I don't want to make politicians. Even though they're pretty much ruled by those things, I don't know. There's something about the betrayal of mankind, through their efforts for selfish gain. I mean, maybe it's just a stereotype. Maybe that's the way it is. But at the same time, though, maybe I shouldn't say things like that. Just be like, you know what, these are people too, and Jesus died for them, and all that stuff. So yes. So yeah, there's that. There's that. So now we have 5. Now we have 5 fingers on both hands. 5 and 5. Now we're going to streamline the fingers so the fingers look less crazy-like. See if I can. My goal is to get this done before my hour is up. That would be great, because that way I could actually have completed one in 1 hour, and then that would save me having to make some more. And also I could take another trip to relaxation. Get a chance to relax, because this is my day off, and so my day off, I just want to do some day off type things. So yeah, that's something very important there. Again, in the chat, if anybody wants to say something, please feel free. I only have a few more minutes left. I've got 13 more minutes here, and I hope to finish a lot more of this. But definitely, I'd love to talk with you or some words. Say something to me. I'd really appreciate that. Feel free. Ask me any question, any sane question. Nothing crazy, of course. But ask me a question that I can possibly answer live on the chat. It's not embarrassing. All right. So you have that. So now I have fingers here, all the hands here. I got a muscle in my head. And Remy is helping me to cook. Let him cook. So that's what I'm doing, just kind of cooking. And then the thing too is, like, when you make something, you have to make it so it can stand up. That's another thing too. So you have to make sure. So you have like the 2 toes there, the front and back. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make some more toes. Man, I love going to the beach. I so want to go to the beach right now. It'd be so good. It's like it's supposed to be raining right now. And it's not, because the weather people always be like, yo, it's gonna rain, and then it doesn't rain, and then you're just like, dang, we should have done everything instead of like listening to the weather person. But you know how that is. So yeah, at some point we'll, but sometimes they're on point, so they tell you that what's good, and you listen, and save a life, save your life. So here's that. All right, so now we're gonna have the toes here. You have this toes right there. Toes here, 1, 2, toes, right? You got the hands, right? So yeah, so this is how it is. This is what we do. So you have to reinforce. It's always a matter of just kind of reinforcing whatever you did before. So that's what happens. I haven't been following politics. I've actually just stop following politics. It's like I hear people like love talking about politics and things going on in the world, and I just stopped. I at first I was really into it. I did a lot more speaking on it, you know, in my other channels, other videos. But then I find that it's just kind of one of those things where it's designed to keep you like busy. It's like busy work, you know, designed to keep you busy and keep you chasing after the white rabbit, following the white rabbits. So yeah, so this is something there. She got the feet. You got the feet. All right, so you have that. You have that. You have that. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, you have this creature. This is the creature here. This is the one here. Going from this one to this one. All right. So that's one there. Let's go ahead and just finish that one up. A vulture's gonna pick your bones. Vulture's gonna pick your bones. Vulture's gonna pick your bones. Gonna pick your bones. That's right. So that's what vultures do. They pick your bones. They said there's something about a condor. They said the Andean condor, right? And they said what happens like the animals, or not, the condor comes in and actually opens up does all the opening. Like does it? It's like the turkey carves the food. You know, kind of thing. It's interesting. So all the other animals wait for the the sky vulture or the condor to come in and open up the food for them to eat, and it makes it easier and strips the meat off the bones. But yeah, look at these creatures, right? They got these claws. You're like, man, they're very scary, actually. You know, but I mean, that's how it is. They have to be scary to survive. You know, also keep other creatures away. But I mean, just the freedom that they have. You know. Think about the animals don't have to worry about like bills and stuff like that, yeah. But they do get a chance to kind of go all over, but you have to worry about predators and being eaten. Because you know that's the thing I was talking about, like how when you have like a judgment, or people have to, you know, do the whole thing with jury duty. How it was like, you know, when you have this thing, it's like we animals don't have a jury system. They have, you know, I can't think of any creature that has a jury system. You know, I don't think ants have it. Ants have a hive mind. And termites hive mind. You know, we watch the movies and they always anthropomorphize them, and they give them the decision type thing. But like, you know, most creatures are run on instinct. They're not running on principles or morality or having to define or to determine what's moral or the thoughts and the intent of the heart kind of thing. No, they don't do any of that. What they do, what these creatures do, is that they eat. They do what the creatures do. They eat. Alright, we got 7 more minutes. Let's see how much I can get done in 7 more minutes, shall we? Alright. Need some water, Lookie? Alright, I get some water. Here, just hold this sculpture for me. Hold it right there. Just hold it right here in the camera. Yeah, it's right there. I'll give me a water bottle. Alright, I get some water. It's gonna take a couple seconds. Try to open the can first, right? Open the lid. It's not a bad idea. I should get some water too. Go up to your friend. Look. Here's the cap. It's like, where did all these hands come from? Also, there's like 4 hands on the screen. It's like, what's up with all these hands? Thank you, Licky.
Oh.
You're welcome. Alright, there's that one. See ya. So yeah, so pretty much that's how it is, you know, we'll kind of take a minute or two. Yeah, 5 minutes, so we can do 5 minutes. Alright, get my water bottle. Woo! One of my friends, she gave me one of these cool masks. This is her mask that she gave me, pretty much after we did the sculpting for her. And so she was really happy to do that. And I think her art is so, wow, so amazing. I like it. So anyway, so what happens is this. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to see if I can finish this as much as possible. Definitely, if you haven't said anything in the chat, please feel free to do so. In the next 4 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and end this chat. So if you watch me do this, I'll be able to do this. I have some more art coming up later. I might be learning how to do that felt thing. So that's going to be fun to do. I haven't done that yet. So give that a shot. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can just finish up this right as you're watching the preliminaries. Because this trench beast needs to be completed. Entrenched, I guess, with masking tape. So that it actually looks like and is like the creature that can do, like, you know, things like that. So yeah, so that's what I have. So it's almost to the one that looks like this one. So this is the trench beast. What it's gonna look like. This is what we're currently at right now. So we're almost there. But yeah, just let you know this is the scenario. This is what we're up against. The time. 3 minutes left, folks. Yeah. So with 3 minutes left, I just want to say that this has been. Oh, sorry. This has been one of those interesting weeks. We came back from vacation, had the car work perfectly, did a really cool baptism with my son. It was great. He got a chance to, you know, we baptized him in water. We did a full immersion, or we dunked him backwards. We're symbolizing the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. That when a person gets baptized, when they're old enough to understand what they're doing, it's one of those things where, you know, you're actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool endeavor that you get a chance to be part of. So yeah, I'm gonna send some links to different people about how they can join my class next week. The class is $15 if you do the early bird special, or $10, $12 early bird special. But if you wait, and it's gonna be at the door, it's gonna be $20. So definitely, if you want to get in on my class, feel free to do that. This 3 minutes is critical. It's mission critical. So here we go. All right, so we got that. Let me fix the legs. All right. See, and this is cool because it's gonna be a fish monster too, but it's little less covered in the things, the scales and stuff, as like the fish monsters. Fish monsters, the chupacabras, they are fish with scales and stuff. This one here is like with teeth, so it's more like, you know, the soldiers of the trench beasts. So they are like deep sea dwelling gill monsters, you know, tiny leviathans and stuff. That's always cool. Yeah, with 8 minutes, 2 minutes left, folks. Let's see what we can do. Next time you see this, it'll be more complete. But right now, you'll see me complete as much as I can right now, because time is almost there. I would like to do like an hour video. I do an hour videos because it gives people a chance to kind of jump in, jump out. And I just absolutely love the fact that people are so wonderful, you know, in terms of like to come and join and see my art, and I appreciate that. Thank you for just watching, even, you know. So we have 1 more minute left and almost out of time. So with the 1 minute, definitely I'm gonna see if I can do some more of this thing here. Add some more cool, you know, nuances. You know, because you have like that thing with the mouth on one side, but it also has the spikes on the side of the head. So you have like the spikes come out this way, you know, and that one, so you have the spike come out of the head sideways, and then the other side. And then, yep, that's so I can do that real quick. Yep, and so this beast is a cool trench beast. I gotta do it in such a way that the spikes come from the side of the head further out, and then it has space enough for the head itself to keep the shape of the basic head shape. So let's see, you got 10 seconds. I want to thank you all for being here today. This has been a great show. I have really enjoyed just spending time with you guys, and my battery also 10%. So this is what we're gonna do for now. I want to say thank you again for visiting and for showing about my head. You know, I thank God for you guys. Thank God for everybody who's ever watched any stuff and supported. Everybody who's ever given $1 or any money was also has given commissions or opportunity for me to make a commission for them, one of a kind, or pose in classes for me, or attended my classes, or contributed in any way to the success of my family. And those of you who prayed for us while we were away traveling, that also means a lot. And so thank God for that. Says hi. Hi, thank you again for saying hi, Samurai77. I appreciate that. Right, so I really appreciate that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and end this now, and I want to say thank you very much. Remy says bye. Remy's like, hello, I'm hit on his head. And Fish Monster was the goal of this one, so we're making the Fish Monster. I'd say hi, Samurai. See your channel there, but follow your channel. The Samurai 7-7. Alright, so God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. You have a good day now, and I wish you all the best. So keep being arty, and keep doing artwork, and be kind to one another. God bless you. Bye.